Welcome back. Another Tuesday. Feel like I'm in all sorts of different things going on today. Running a little bit behind today, so sorry about that. Sorry I missed last week. People were looking. I appreciate it, but I had a little girl sick last week, so I was hanging out with her. We got a lot to get to today. Got a knife to glue up. I got some handles to grind, and a little hand sanding. See how far we get. First thing, I'm gonna get this handle glued on. So that's where we're gonna start. Well, before I do that, though, I need to put the maker's mark on. So I guess we're gonna start there. Hope everybody's doing well today. It's actually a pretty nice day out today. It's pretty nice, if I'm being completely honest. Ooh, knocking you all over. So we got this one here. We're gonna clean up here and put some handles on. We'll wait as people start to filter in. Usually takes a little bit, but let's see. We'll go as it goes. People come in when they come in. I have zero control over that, so. Like I said, I hope everybody is doing good. So we got one here. How's it going, guys? Lovely Tuesday afternoon. Man. Oh, piling in. There we go. Piling in. Trying to get the acetone open. There we go. All right, so we got a lot to do today. Lots and lots to do today. How's everybody doing? I got to put the maker's mark on here. We got to get some handles glued up. We got to grind some handles. Got a little bit of everything. Hope everybody's doing well today. Like I say, you got any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them. We'll answer all the questions. All the questions. I just want to clean this up real quick before I put the maker's mark on. We don't want anything interfering with that. Bring y'all along with me. Give me a second. I said I'm running a little bit behind today. Had to stay a little bit later at work, so feel a little bit out of sorts. I will throw this on here. Howdy, howdy. Let me turn this around so y'all can see let y'all see what I'm looking at anyways, maybe. Threw everybody on the ground. From Denmark. What's going on, Denmark? Man, we're having trouble today. All right, let's straighten this out. Stop dropping the camera everywhere. There we go. All right, so I got my knife here. And I need to get my stencil. use stencil. See, it's my little. Ooh. It's not wanting to focus now. There you go. It's blurry. I do make knives. That's what I do. This is my shop that I make my knives in. What I want to do here is I want to mark where my handles come in, because I like to put them in a so let me get a pencil here. Yeah, I do make knives. I have a website. I said I got a YouTube here that I share with you guys, and I say this is what I do part-time. I say I'm a machinist by day, but then I come on here and every Tuesday. I try to go live, just kind of bring everybody along with what I'm doing that day, and answer questions, and just kind of hang out, really. So if you like it, I try to be here every Tuesday. Like I said, last week I missed because my daughter was sick, but most weeks I am here. So all I'm trying to do is get this lined up. Lined up somewhat straight. But yeah, if y'all got questions or something, you know, throw them in the comments, and we'll get to them. So I need to tape this down so it doesn't move. So we don't want it to move. Once we start etching it, definitely don't want it to move. Hope everybody's doing good today. I'm in the process right here of working on a whole set of knives. Yes. Like the stream, subscribe, do all the things they tell you you're supposed to do that I always forget to tell people. Thank you. So what I'm going to do here is I have this electrolyte. It can be multiple different things, but I just like this electrolyte. You could use salt water if you really wanted to. This electrolyte I use just reacts very consistent. So we have the stencil here, and what you can see on there is kind of my name and my logo. I got a 9-volt battery. They make etchers to do this specifically, but you know what? A 9-volt battery will get the job done. So that's what I'm going to use. So I use a little bit of this electrolyte, and you don't want it sopping wet. See, the first thing I do, I put that on there, and it's just really damp. So I just take a little thing and get a lot of that excess moisture off. And I got those little alligator clips. So here's alligator clip here on this side, and then this one I will hook onto the other side of the battery. So the battery's connected on both sides. And hopefully you'll be able to see this. But as I do this, you'll be able to see like it'll start to darken, and it's actually eating away the steel. I don't know if you can see the little bubbles that come up from it. It doesn't take, it takes a few minutes. And once you take it off there, it kind of look kind of gross. And I'll hit a couple passes with some like 800 grit sandpaper, and this will clean up real nice. So that's kind of how I do it. It's pretty kind of a quick and dirty kind of way. Like I said, They make things specifically to do this, where one will kind of make it deep into the steel, and then the other ones will make it dark. And there are little tricks to do that. It's not necessarily necessary, but is it hard to making knives? It's hard to make good knives. Lots of practice. I said I've been doing this since about 2006, so probably about the. But I say I've been doing this. I won't say full time, but I've been doing it part time as an actual business since 2002, 2000, something like that. I don't remember. I said I've been doing it for so long I don't even remember. Hey, there's Don. Nice to see you, Don. Nice to see you. We're working on a logo right now. Putting my maker's mark on this kitchen knife here. So like I say, I give it a couple minutes, kind of go over it real well, make sure we get everything. Because once you move the stencil, you really don't. It's kind of a one and done. You don't want to try to put it back. I mean, it's just never gonna be quite in the same spot. So once I'm happy with it, I think I got good coverage on it. I will take this neutralizer and kind of stop the reaction from happening, because it kind of creates this caustic section under here, and you want to neutralize that, because otherwise it can continue doing that, and you don't want it to start rusting the blade around it. So you can see it's starting to darken up. That's where it's eating that material. Let's see if I can. It's not wanting to focus well. So I'll just do a couple quick color passes, and then I'll pull it off here, and we'll get it cleaned up. Okay, should be good there. I don't know if I need to pull it off the battery, but I always do. All right, so I will take this side and use this neutralizer. And basically, this stencil is basically like a filter. You see it's kind of right there. It looks kind of ugly right now, but we'll get it cleaned up here in a minute and it'll look real nice. So you just want to clean that up real good. And you can use this, I don't want to say infinitely, but you can get a lot of uses out of it. You just want to make sure it's nice and cleaned. So that looks pretty good. So we'll set this off to the side and let it dry. So I'll hit this with a little bit of WD-40. And then we'll get us a You're asking how many knives do I have? Or how much are they? Any knives that I have available are on my website, blowertknives.com. So if you want to check anything out that I have available, like this set here is already sold already, but anything I have available will be on my website. So there it is. It kind of looks kind of meh right now. So here's the big boy right here. This is the big chef knife I'm working on with this set. So I'm just gonna set this right here. Always be careful when you have this thing pointing towards you like it is. I don't normally hang them off the end like this, but I've already sanded the other side, so I don't want to scratch it all up. All right, so I'll take some of this 800 grit and I'll just do a couple passes on here. And I have this rubber on here. And I'll just do some straight pulls. And that'll clean up all that stuff that's around it. Let me see. Having trouble with lighting this day. There you go. What do you think? Does that look good? I think it looks good. Crispy. All right. So now that I got that taken care of, what we want to do is we want to protect this because this blade is finished. We don't want it getting all messed up when we put the handles on. Hey, what's going on? Man, what did I do? Oh, there it is. So we're looking for, I want to put some electrical tape on here. I use electrical tape because electrical tape does not have any, I don't want to say chemicals, but it will not rust the blade. If you, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But like painter's tape or something like that I was just using, if you leave it on there for any period of time, it will rust carbon steel. You'll get all this just like streaks on there from the adhesive. So electrical tape doesn't have that. So if you're gonna leave it on there for any length of time, I always put electrical tape. Plus, I like the electrical tape because it allows me to see the actual profile of the knife still really well. And so when I'm doing the handles, I got a good idea of where things are, especially if it's like a hidden tang or something. Some of them don't matter as much, and it also, because this knife is already pretty much sharp, you know, it keeps me from cutting myself, which we don't want to do. I got this little bit down here I want to cover up. There we go. It's like it's wanting to cut through it already. So, all right. So there, we got the blade all protected. And we'll get rid of this. So we're done with that. I don't need that. I don't need this. Don't need that. Awesome. What metal do I need for a blade like that? This is 80 CRV2. It's a high carbon steel. It's got a lot of vanadium in it, so for kitchen knives, you can grind a really thin edge, and it'll hold up to that. So that's what I use. I like it. It's good stuff. So that I can glue some handles on. All right. Oh man, This probably ain't gonna work. That ain't no good. I don't think this is gonna work. We might be able to make it work. Because this blade a little too wide. I need to make a bigger one of these. We can make it. Look at that. We'll make it work. We don't have to have it cinched down like really tight in there. I just need it to hold on to it so that I don't have to hold on to it. I can turn this while I'm working on the handles, gluing the handles on. That's why I have it here. All right, see you, man. Appreciate you stopping by. So I want to clean this blade because we're gonna put these handles on. So I want to clean it all up. I feel like this thing here has been getting on my nerves for like a while now. Look at these paper towels. It's a mess. All right. We can put these somewhere to keep them somewhat clean. There we go. All right, so we want to clean everything up. So here's the handles, both sides, left and right, pins. You'll make sure you got all your clamps over here because sometimes my clamps wander off and I forget where I put them. And I go to glue stuff up and I don't have any clamps. I don't know why that happens, but it happens sometimes. I want to hit these real quick on some sandpaper, but this is just some acetone, any kind of oils. That's why I'm wearing gloves. And you got any oils or anything on the blade, you don't want that. You just want to hit it with something that's gonna get all that oils and everything off your blade so that the epoxy will stick. That is what you want. All right, so I got 2 pinholes here, and then these pins here are just, thank you for subscribing. These holes here are just to allow the epoxy to go through the handle and adhere to each other. So I'm gonna take these over here. These have already been flattened, ground, and everything, but I always like to hit them one last time because this material doesn't necessarily do that, but if you've kicked up any burrs or anything or just something while you've been working on it right before you get up there, it can leave a little gap, and you don't want little gaps. So these are nice and flat. So I got me a box here. I've been using this box for I don't even know how long now, but that's where I'm gonna throw my epoxy in here. Just kind of wipe these off, get any little dust off. Hit that one. Hit this one. See, this stuff dries really fast. But you see all that? That's a little dust and everything. That's all we're getting off there. Go ahead and hit the pins. You just want to keep all that off there so that you give yourself a good, good bond. If you're doing it, you might as well get it to work right? All right, I've been using this thing for I don't know how many blades now. Let's see if we can find a good spot in here. I think it's time for a new box. How about this one? No, I don't want to use that one. Oh, how about this one? These are boxes we moved from moving. What is all this stuff? Cool. Look, I got boxes everywhere. I keep these boxes for stuff like this, just to have something to throw in there. It really makes no difference. It just got these arrows. It doesn't make a difference. It just keeps. If I'm working on something, I can work on it in here, and it keeps the epoxy from getting everywhere. So it's falling over. So I will take, this is a 2-part epoxy, so you can need 2 parts, obviously. And I will mix this up, and then I will throw some black dye in there, and that does 2 things. All right, I mean, look, epoxy's flowing good today. Last time I did this, epoxy was like 6 hours to come out of here. Not quite, but it was ridiculous. It was super cold that day. And like, this is what happens. Like, this stuff just gets everywhere. Another reason to wear gloves unless you want epoxy on your hands forever. So like, I feel like sometimes I like end up gluing the lid on. So I will add some black dye to this after just a little bit. That does two things. It will allow me to make sure that this is good and mixed. And it will also allow, if I do have any little gaps in the handles, they will be really hard to see. So you'll get a nice clean look. I'm gonna say, if everything's flattened like it should be, you shouldn't have that problem. But if you did, you wouldn't be able to tell. I think we need a new stick. That stick has been used to its limit. All right, new stick. So we're just gonna mix this real good. You wanna make sure it's mixed really well, otherwise the hardener in here will not activate. I'm kind of wondering if I got enough in here. Hopefully we got enough. So mix this, mix. All right, so I will add just one little drop of this, and I mean just like one tiny little drop. And this will, like, I'm talking like that. That'll make all this black. That's why everything in that other box was just black. So this makes sure I get everything mixed really well. Hopefully I got enough. I was a little cautious with it today, I don't know why. If we need more, we'll mix up more. It's not a big deal. Yep. I have all different kinds of dyes. If I had other kinds of dyes, or if I wanted to do like file work or something like that, I could add a different dye, but I always tend to use black. So, all right. So in here, oh, nice trying to fall down. About pulled it out of the vise. Tighten that up. All right, so we're gonna do this side first. We'll get some epoxy here. Okay. So just like putting jelly on the toast. You don't have to be super clean with this. It'll all get cleaned up later. I got another one that I need to grind the handles on that have already been epoxied. I'll show you what they kind of looks like. So, let's say these holes here are just allow that epoxy. When you squeeze all this together, it'll allow it to go, have somewhere to go. Now, what you want to do is make sure you actually look at these and make sure you put the right one on the right side and not have the wrong one trying to put it on there. It's also really important when you're doing this that you dry fit all this to make sure they fit. And I don't know if you noticed on here, but I write left and right on here when I'm making these things, because if you mix them up in the beginning process and you're doing it, like your angle of your drill or something might have been a little bit off, and you could definitely mess it up. So you'll make sure you get everything covered. I seriously don't know if I mixed enough of this up. All right, so we got all of that. So it's all jellied up. So we're gonna set this right here. Put that right there. We're gonna take these pins, get a little bit on the pin, and I will give it a little twist as you go in. And just let it come out just a little bit. You don't want it sticking way out there, because you'll have trouble trying to line up with it otherwise. So here's the other one. Let's just make sure you get good epoxy in the pins. That's what it's for. So they stick out just a little bit. Find the holes. Make sure the pins are coming through. Just give it a little squeeze. So it's sitting there, I'm not holding it. So that's why I like having it in a vise when I'm doing this, so I don't have to sit here and try to hold 5 different things while I'm doing this. And as long as you got you give it a good little press, it usually will stay. I have had them fall off, believe it or not. Especially in the summer when it gets hot, this epoxy gets like really runny. Yeah, I'm gonna need to mix up more. It gets really runny. In the wintertime, it's just like molasses though. So it's kind of like, goes from one extreme to the other. And as it starts curing, starts working, it'll start warming up. It starts moving more. So in the summertime, it's like a lot. And we might have enough. We'll see. We'll see what we can do here. And so you don't have to have like everything. You just need a thin layer really, but you just want to make sure you get a layer everywhere. And we should be okay. Okay. All right, so we got epoxy everywhere there and here. Line it up. Push the pins through. Now that's why I say you want to make sure that you dry fit these beforehand, because once you add this epoxy to it, there's always like a problem. So there it is right there. Got the pins sticking out both sides so that the extra length can be ground off. Now I will not necessarily lock that down, but throw some clamps on. Something you want to make sure of is when you're doing this, sometimes these get super messy. You just want to make sure there's no epoxy where you're clamping. You don't want your clamps to like stick to everything. So I just throw a clamp on both sides. It doesn't matter which way you do it. I just do it one on each side. It just balances it when I got it in here so it ain't leaning. But I can feel it wanting to pull it down right now. So, which is fine. So, there it is right there. You see all this epoxy we got up front from squeezing out, which is fine. Totally fine. It's to be expected. I'll set that right there. If you set it up like this, the epoxy will run down. You'll get less squeeze out. It won't just like keep flowing if you had it faced a different way. Some people use Q-tips. I like these little cosmetic things that my wife had, and I kind of stole them. So this is what I use now. Put that full of acetone. Clean that one side up. See all that? There you go. Clean both sides up. If you got a little bit like up here, you can kind of clean this up because these front of these are finished already. So make sure the tape ain't underneath there because that would be bad. It's not. So here it is, all cleaned up. So now this will clamp. I won't mess with this until at least 24 hours. You could probably work on it in an hour, but it's not really necessary. So I will set that right there. Well, maybe, if it'll sit. I might end up putting it back in here, if I can get it to clamp well enough. Nah, I'll just set it. We'll set it up here in the box. It'll be fine like that. So, gloves off. Look at that, all that epoxy, no epoxy on me. That's what you want. All right. Put the lid back on. All right, we'll flip this around. Let me take this thing off. Look, see, this is the thing behind the scenes here. So my battery's dying on this thing, so we're gonna plug it in for a minute. Hope everybody was able to see what I was doing there. If you got questions, let me know. I've done that a couple different times now. So if you haven't seen it before, like I said, I've done it on a couple other lives. Surprisingly, I didn't screw it up as bad as I did today. But this is my big knife here. See, I usually use this other one, but it's too big. I need to make a big thing, because this one's like 2.5 inches wide and it won't fit in that one. It's a big one. Whenever you do this, you don't want to do like this. I got a tip sticking out. You use this board to keep the tip off so that you can't run into it. So you ain't like running into it, that would be bad. All right, get that on there. All right, so I need to, here's one I've already done. It's all blocked up like this, but I need to grind this inside profile. So we're gonna throw the respirator on and go in the grinding room. I won't be talking while I'm in there because I'll have the respirator on, and this stuff is super not good for you to breathe. So I got these two that are already roughed out, already shaped. Well, they're not shaped, but the profile, the spine of the knife is all ground out. I'm trying to get them all sanded and glued up and do all that before I do any of the final handle shaping. I'm just getting the shape of the handles going right now. So I'm gonna throw a respirator on and get the grinding room ready, and we'll grind this other one. It's just like dusty right now. So we're back now. All right, let me take this with me. Take these with us. Alright, so I'm gonna let y'all hang out right over here for a little while. Let this thing do what it needs to do. Put it up. Right. Let's take this one off. That's one I need right there. Give me just a minute. We'll get this straightened out. Need a good spot to put this thing. I need more like mounts in here. Not gonna stay. Whoa, who's zoomed in? Is that better? Right. We're gonna get this in here. Get this flipped around. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me now? What's the problem? Did I have it on mute? Can you hear me now? Voice 0. I've been talking this whole time and y'all couldn't hear me? Man, dang. Is the sound good now? Let me know. I had myself muted the whole time. Oh, man. It's probably better you couldn't hear me, honestly. Just over here talking to myself, explaining over here, showing scratches and all this other stuff. Wonder how long it was been like that. I probably hit it and didn't realize it. At least somebody finally told me. Well, let me know. Can you hear me? Yes, no. All right. Once you kind of get really close, you get all this grit. I like to kind of do some of the whole length of the blade. When I say I'm still going at a diagonal, I'm not going with the length of the blade. On the final grit, I'll go the length of the blade. But this way, like I said, it kind of cleans up a little bit. Look over a little bit. Move the light. Sometimes, right now it's not, but if it's nice and sunny out, sometimes I'll take them out and look at them. Okay, this isn't always necessary, but it's like if you're gonna do a hand rub finish, this is what you got to do. So. The better you grind the blade, the faster this is. But like I said, this steel's pretty hard, so you still gotta give it a little bit effort, but it's worth it. At least I think it's worth it. Helps to have good sandpaper though. This is that Indasa Redline. It's good stuff. Cuts really good. I think we're pretty close here. I saw a little bit right here. I think we got it, but it doesn't hurt to go a little bit longer just to make sure. Because sometimes especially certain lights, you won't see them, but they'll pop out. And the worst thing you don't want to do is get close to finishing, and then you'll see this deeper scratch, which is not good. Not good at all. All right, cool. So look. This light allows me to see good, but it's almost like it's too bright for y'all. So there's 220. So I think that's where I'm going to stop today. That's a good stopping point. Got a lot of work done today. Got a lot of things glued up. That's one sharp butter knife. Yeah. This is one thin butter knife. So here's the other side. This is 120 on this side. And you can see there's a flat where the handle comes in. And I blend these. I can do them on the grinder, and sometimes I do. But I like to blend them by hand too. Allows me to kind of adjust things as I go. But let's see, this is 5 thousandths right now at the edge. About 5 to 6 thousandths right now. So to give you perspective, the human hair is about 4 thousandths, and I think maybe like a sheet of paper is a little bit thicker than that, possibly. So it's about the size of a hair in thickness right now. It's pretty thin, and I haven't done this other side yet. So it'll get thinner, but then when you sharpen it from there, it'll thicken up a little bit. So it's good to have it kind of thin, especially with kitchen knives. But that's where we're gonna stop today. Appreciate everybody being here. I'll be back next week, Tuesday, 4 o'clock.